YouTube. I just decided to go ahead and make a video while I have the camera and before I upload. So why did I decide to go natural? It was because of a lot of things. I had been watching videos for probably about 6 months actually about people that had went natural, how they're taking care of their hair, the problems that they had, and all that sort of thing. And it really fascinated me, and I was like, oh my gosh, I wish that I was strong enough to do this, but I don't think that I am. I don't know how people are going to react. Like, I live in a predominantly white area, and the black people that are here either have weaves in or braids. I've never seen anyone natural. Not at that time. It's changed a lot now, but at that time, that's pretty much what I was around. So I don't want to scare anyone, especially with my job, because I work retail, and I don't want people to be, complaining, because I don't know why, that's where my mind went, And it was really cool. I got braids, and this is in December, and then I took them out, and, my hair grew. My hair, it wasn't, super long, but it was here, collarbone length. But it was just dead. It had no volume to it. It was just flat against my head. I already have a big head, so yes, I'm a very honest person. So having just this hair, I was kind of like this a little bit, because that's kind of thin right now because I did my curly stuff. But anyways, it was like this to my head, and it wasn't doing anything. It wasn't flowing in the wind. It was just sitting on top of my head, So at that point, I was I want my hair to be healthy. I want my hair to be long. I want it to be shiny. I want it to be soft. And, this isn't beautiful to me. I'm not saying that people with relaxed hair don't have beautiful hair, but to me, looking at myself, looking in the mirror, it wasn't beautiful. It was just ew, And so I decided to transition. And I was transitioning from that time in December to my freshly relaxed hair. Probably I think until March, Arkansas. Probably I want to say May or June. I actually did my big chop, and I had very little hair, and I don't know how to edit. I would post a picture, but I don't really know how to do that, so maybe at a later date I'll do my hair journey once I learn how to photo edit or video edit. But it was really short. It was probably that long when I cut it. Actually, I have a video or a picture over here. It's kind of ghetto, but this is me when I first transitioned, and it's grown a ton since then, and not a ton, but it's healthier, it's longer. It's probably only about here when I pick it out with my afro, but that's still huge progress compared to what it was. And it's really soft now, and I still struggle with it. I'm still figuring things out, but I have a lot more knowledge now than I had even when I first started, and even before I even was thinking about transitioning. So I think in that aspect, my hair is doing pretty good, and I'm very proud of it. I'm proud of myself for doing it. This is right now my protective style. I have Genie Locks in, which is essentially yarn braids, and they work pretty good. Protecting my ends, that's why protective style. It's winter, and it was hot, but with California weather, it could be burning up hot one day and then freezing cold the next. So just want to make sure that I'm protected that way. But I like them because I can style them. I can do really funky stuff with them, and they look like dreadlocks too. And one day probably, I don't know, my boyfriend, he has dreadlocks, and he looks really cute with them. But I'm I changed my hair too much to have dreads right now, so maybe one day. But yeah, I'll post a picture of his in the future that I can photo edit. But his hair is coming along too. I miss it. Oh, I'll probably also be talking about long distance relationships because I am in one. But yeah, so that's basically what motivated me to go natural. Yeah. And I love it. I really love it. I'm embracing who I am. I'm embracing my natural state, and it can be annoying at times. Like sometimes I find something that looks amazing, and then like 2 months later, my hair's like, what is this you're putting in my hair? So this is a really good learning experience, and I'm very thankful to be able to experience it. And as far as like a lot of people, when I went to work and I had my natural, a lot of people were complimenting me on it, and I wasn't expecting that. It was kind of a shock. But people were like, "Oh my gosh, you look so cute. You look so young, and you look so fresh and natural." And I was just glowing. Like I was so happy that people weren't like, "What the heck are you doing?" And the weird thing, I'm sorry, my arm hurts. The weird thing is that I got more positive feedback, and I think a lot of people, because I've heard like a lot of people talk about this too, is that you get so much positive feedback from like people who aren't black. Like I've had Asians, I've had Mexicans, I've had white people, I've had a ton of different races just like compliment me on it. And I found that black people just look at me kind of funny, and they're like, why is your hair like that? Oh, you must need someone to do your hair. Here's my card. Call me if you ever want to weave. And I'm just like, that's so rude. I wish we could be like, we need to be more supportive of one another. Whether you have someone who wants to be relaxed or someone who wants to be natural, they're both beautiful, Well, if you're taking care of it, they're both beautiful. So that just kind of bums me out. But then it's like sometimes I'll get like a guest who's like this, a black lady, and there is one who's always like, "Oh my gosh, I love your hair, I love your new style, I love that you're going natural. It's really inspirational, and it inspires me to see people who are comfortable with themselves." And so I'm just like, "Oh my gosh, really? Cool," But so I guess that's a good thing too. And then I'll get like the occasional guy who's like, "Yeah, go on my stuff. And I'm just like, thanks. But I am loving my hair journey so far. It has its ups and it has its downs, but I think in the long run, it's totally worth it. Bye, YouTube.